I am the Master Raider, and today I am here to rank members of the Justice League. Now, as always, my rankings are always correct, yours are always wrong. Unless you agree with me, then they're right. If you like this stuff, like, subscribe, or don't. It's up to you. I do not care. So let's get into the tiers. At the bottom tier, we have honorary, meaning these guys are just happy to be on the roster of the Justice League. They're just there. That's all I have to say about that. Next, we have what we call part-timer. They're there and they're not, but at least they're semi-useful when they show up. At the middle tier, we have member. They are a solid member of the Justice League. They do what they need to do. After that, we have veteran. These guys are awesome at what they do. We love to see them when they come into action, and it's awesome. And then, of course, we have Hall of Fame, the All-Stars, the best of the best, the top tier. These guys are going to go down in history. Everybody's going to be talking about them for hundreds and thousands of years. I'm sure some of them may also be around for that long. Let's get into the rankings. Number 1, we have Aquaman. Now listen, I am not a man who will shit on Aquaman. Aquaman is very underrated. That man does not get enough credit. Thank you, Jason Momoa, for being able to revitalize this character when it comes to mainstream media. But you look at this man in the comics. There is a time period where he was rocking the long hair and the beard with a hook for a hand. And Aquaman with a hook for a hand, I will preach on, is awesome. I wish he still had the hook for a hand because it's sick. It makes him stand out even more. Listen, Aquaman in the sea, there is nobody beating Aquaman. All right, this dude talks to fish. Yeah, he does talk to fish. But have you seen the fish that he talks to? This man summons sharks and megalodons and other weird fish that you've never seen before because it's the ocean. Do you know what's in the ocean, man? So for that reason, Aquaman is getting put into the veteran slot. The man does not get the respect that he deserves. I am going to give it to him. Go look at Aquaman in Injustice, where he sticks somebody with his trident and feeds them to a shark. It's awesome. Aquaman is sick. I will not take the slander here. Next, we have the Atom. Ray Palmer, the original Atom. Listen, I'm not huge on information of the Atom. I'm going to put him into member. I was debating on that or part-timer. I'm going to stick with member on the Atom because I know his genius intellect plays a huge part for the Justice League. Listen, I get it. He gets really, really tiny, and sometimes he gets really, really big. I think they really focus on the tiny parts of him, though. Very interesting character that just doesn't the spotlight that he probably deserves, to be honest. This is one of those characters where, for some reason, DC just does not tap into him as a character. And when they do, it's really interesting. It's really fun because it's a very different feel. But I have the Atom at member. Next, we have Batman. Batman's going into the Hall of Fame. Why? It's Batman. I don't need to explain myself. We're moving on. Next, we have Black Canary. Black Canary is one of those characters where you're like, she screams real loud and she can fight a little bit. And you're like, nah, that's it. Look, Black Canary is going in the veteran slot for me. She is underrated. Another character that is really interesting and really unique, and they don't use her. There's not a lot of characters in comics that go off the vocals. You have Black Bolt in Marvel and Banshee in Marvel, and that's about all the ones that I can think of off the top of my head. Maybe Silver Banshee in DC, obviously Banshee. But you don't see it in something like this. On top of all of that, she is a very good martial artist. She can handle herself in a fight. In fact, if you watch a show like Young Justice, she is the one doing the training for the fighting. For the physical combat, it is Black Canary teaching the team how to fight. She is awesome. She kicks ass. Black Canary in the veteran slot. All right, next we have the Flash. Barry Allen. Have to be very specific because there's like 15 different Flashes. He's going into the vet spot as well. It's the Flash. This dude is so fast. He can travel through time. There's not a lot he can't do. I enjoy the moments with the Flash where he gets to use his brain too. Like this dude learned how to rebuild a building and like that. I believe it was him. It was either him or Superman. That'd be really embarrassing for me if it was Superman. Anywho, the Flash is awesome. He's also, like I said, he's kind of underrated in the intellect department. And again, I don't know how he is not even more overpowered when it comes to the super speed. Like, how are you stopping a guy like that? Mind-boggling to me. Next, we have Green Lantern, and I know I'm going to get some heat for this. I am putting him in the member slot. Listen, it's a dude who shoots arrows, but he's also a weird character. Like, his philosophies are weird. Like, I enjoy him in Justice League Unlimited because he's kind of the character that keeps the entire Justice League grounded. Like, in the original series, you get Batman to do that. Green Arrow's doing that in this one. But, like, comic book Green Arrow's a bit of a weirdo. It's not like Arrow from the show where he's kind of, like, dark and mysterious, like he's taking too many notes from Batman in that show. And don't get me wrong, I like him with Black Canary, but Ollie's cool, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I'm putting him at member. All right, now we have Hal Jordan Green Lantern. Again, we have to be specific because there's 15 different Green Lanterns. We talked about that in a previous video. I'm putting him in veteran because of what Hal brings to the table as well. You have this intergalactic space force at your disposal. He can call in backup at any point in time. Also, the sky's the limit with what this guy can do. It's literally his brain. His brain is able to create things just from sheer will. That is awesome. The Green Lantern's superpower is arguably one of the coolest ones in all of DC. And to think we've only gotten one movie. That's it. I cannot wait for the Lantern show when that comes out. And if you're watching this post-Lanterns, let's hope to God it was as good as we were hoping it was before it came out. But I love Hal. I'm putting Hal in the vet spot. Next, we have Shayera Hall's Hawk Girl. Now, I'm specific with this Hawk Girl because this is the Hawk Girl that I grew up with from the Justice League Unlimited Justice League animated series. I am putting her at member. I know, that's tough because I do think she's a badass and I do like her, but she's one of those characters that doesn't get used as much as she should. And I'm even going back to the cartoon. There's not a ton of moments that stick out with me from her. The main stuff that sticks out with me from her is her relationship with Jon Stewart, and that's a disservice to that because I know she's a badass. I know she had a major storyline with Thanagar coming to Earth, and I don't know. She's one of those characters that just doesn't get a lot of screen time. She's got one of the coolest backstories. The rebirth, I think that's her. I don't know. Again, it's with continuity, it all gets really weird. But I've always enjoyed that with Carter Hall, and I believe it's her, Shayera, where they die, they fall in love, and then they die again right after they fall in love, and that's like the cycle that they go through. It's a very fascinating story, and again, it's one of those characters that DC just doesn't do enough with. Hawkman and Hawkgirl should be higher up than they are. Speaking of which, I have Hawkman here. I'm putting Hawkman in the vet spot. Now, this is where the heat comes because everything I said about Shayera. We had a recent Hawkman. I'm thinking of Black Adam. If you saw that movie, listen, was it the perfect movie? No, it was not. However, the highlights of Black Adam was the Justice Society of America. They did a very great job with Hawkman. They did. I love the guy who played Hawkman in that. Again, Dr. Fate was fantastic in that as well. Atom Smasher was okay. I can't remember the other one. I know there's another character in there. Can't remember who she was. Doesn't matter. Anyways, he was awesome. And there's something about Hawkman. I just remember more badass moments. Like if you look at Hawkgirl in the Superman movie, she did not get a chance to shine. So Hawkman gets it's not like that Hawkman gets more moments, but I guess he gets more memorable fights, which maybe that's my brain. Maybe my brain is being stupid. But I got Hawkman in the vet spot. All right, next we have Martian Manhunter. And if you have watched any of the content on this YouTube channel, if you've watched the podcast, you know JP and I talk about this man all the time because he is arguably the GOAT of DC Comics, and he does not get enough screen time. He does not get enough credit. This is Martian Manhunter. He's going into the Hall of Fame. Do you know what this guy provides? First of all, he's been confirmed to be the heart of the team. Secondly, he is telecommunications. This man can talk to everybody and keep everybody connected mentally. Thirdly, he can shapeshift at will. Fourthly, he can phase through objects, again, at will. This man is overpowered. It's been stated multiple times, like if his mental fear of fire was overcome, there would be nothing he couldn't do. That's literally what's stopping him, is that little spot in his brain, because he was so scarred from the fire burning on his home planet. Manhunter is sick, and he deserves all the credit in the world. I am hoping he shows up in a Justice League show. I would love it if he showed up in Supergirl. But listen, this man needs the limelight. We need a limited series on Martian Manhunter. We need solo movies on Martian Manhunter. This man is awesome. This Martian is awesome. Give him his freaking credit, DC. This is DC's issues. This is where I have beef with DC Comics, okay? Because they have so many cool characters at their disposal, and they continue to only push Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. And don't get me wrong, those characters are great. They are a good foundation, but you have a Manhunter. We talked about Hawkman and Hawkgirl. How does Plastic Man not have more screen time than he gets? That's a genuine question. The Atom, Blue Beetle, Booster Gold, a bunch of the characters that I'm listing off aren't on this list, and I'm having this rant now because the next two characters are obvious because I haven't gotten to them yet. But that's where my beef is with DC. You have so many cool characters at your disposal. Next, we have Superman. And Superman, by default, has to go in a Hall of Fame because he's Superman. Look, is he one of my favorites? No. But I respect what the man does. I respect the Man in Blue. I respect the Man of Steel. And he probably would have been lower if it wasn't for the recent Superman movie, which I know is crazy. Superman's not my kind of superhero. He's just not. However, he is the reason we have all of the superhero content that we do now. He's the reason why we have this channel. Well, not really. He's not the reason, but he started the reason. If that makes sense. So I have Superman at Hall of Fame. Finally, we have Wonder Woman, and I respect the crap out of Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is also the Hall of Fame. Again, she deserves to be there. Don't get it twisted. However, she does not get enough credit. She doesn't. She is awesome. She's a badass. You realize Batman and Superman are scared of fighting her. Like, the only way that Batman could figure out how to beat Diana is to have Diana beat herself. That was his game plan. Like, okay, we need to make her think that she's fighting something when really she's just sitting there fighting herself, because that's the only way we're going to beat Diana. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. When it comes to one-on-one fighting, Wonder Woman is taking out Superman. She is. If it comes to them punching and fighting and kicking, she is going to win. She just is. So I'm going to put her in Hall of Fame. On that note, that wraps up this video. So if you like this, go watch the podcast, go watch other videos. Do what you need to do, man. Godspeed.